лицу.
Hello, good morning, guys. Today we are going to eat pancakes. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I can't even wait at all. Like, I have just made them hot, and sorry if my camera equipment is in the show. I'm trying to use the mic so that I don't sound like crap. Okay, so let's try the first bite of the shit. So sorry. I didn't want to swear. Okay, so the first bite of these delicious pancakes. I'm so excited. Taking a giant bite with a little bit of mango. Wow, this mango is so sweet. And I also got like a giant plate of watermelon here. I'm a little afraid to show you this because that will just move my mic, I guess. But it's okay. We are trying. I'm trying. This is amazing. This is fucking fantastic. So good. Okay, so now that we are in a tropical paradise, let's talk about Gloom and Doom. So today is a nice overcast day, and I like both sunny and overcast days. I just love them both, and both have their own place. That's why I chose this topic today, because I like both happy and not so happy things, or questionable. I don't know if they can be said happy or not. Questionable things. So today we are going to talk about death and books about death. So let's start right away, and I'm going to talk about 3 books today. First one is called Smoke Gets Into Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. And it's a non-fiction book about this girl. She's like 23 or something, and she gets a job at a crematorium, or as a mortician kind of, and she is like little morbidly curious about death. And it's very interesting how she is very so young and still so concerned about death, and she wants to know so much about what happens when somebody dies, not like heaven or something, that kind of stuff. I mean, she's probably interested in that also, but she's more interested in the rituals that are performed. And she's in the US, and she starts working at this crematorium, and it's amazing. That book is so good. It's very interesting because it also talks about some traditions in other places, other countries, other tribes, others who are different from the US or the Western world, and she puts forth really interesting points, like what is different from our own tradition or own customs sounds barbaric to us. That is so true. I had never thought about it like that, but when it comes to death, it's so macabre a topic that you have to face that. Some cultures are going to be different, and we can't really judge them and say that that's barbaric. Like, there are things that are like kind of, this is not for kids, this book. This is a very adult book, and it does have some very like hard-hitting facts about death, but so interesting, such an interesting read. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Please read it if you are interested in topic of death. So for me, death is like an integral part of life, I think, and we hardly talk about it. Like, if I'm writing an essay or a report or a presentation or anything, I have an introduction, then the main body of the presentation or the speech or whatever, and the conclusion. So death is like conclusion. If you don't have a conclusion to your write-up or your story per se, what's the point? And that's what makes it really good. And that's why I really want to know a lot about how people think about death, and I like to think about death too. Like, it's an inevitable thing in our life. So yeah, I do recommend this book. The second book is a young adult book called Scythe, and it's by an author called Neil Schusterman, I think. Yeah, I read it last year. All these 3 books I read last year, and I was planning to make a video last year, but I got so lazy that I didn't. But now that I am full of nice pancakes and energized with watermelon and mango, I'm feeling positive. Why not talk about that? So yeah, so that's what we are doing. So second book is called Scythe by Neil Schusterman. It's YA fiction fantasy kind of thing and thriller kind of thing. It's about in this future, natural causes of death no longer work. Like, people don't die of natural causes anymore. The technology is so advanced that it just people just can be revived if they are brought back to the hospital within like certain time of their death and stuff. But then somebody has to control the population, right? Like, it can't get out of the hand if people don't die. So there is this organization called the Scythe, and the people who belong to that organization, who are very carefully selected, and there is like a lot of moral things, like and they perform something called gleaning, or they take people's lives basically, and it's very random and it's very claustrophobic that way, because it's random, but in reality death is random. You never know when it's coming. It's scary. That's scary, but it is the fact of life or death. And then why not accept it? So when it happens in that sci-fi way, that fantasy kind of way, there are lots of moral questions, like I said earlier. Like, people who are the part of this Scythedom, who gave them the right? Because they are given the right to glean people, or they don't say kill people, they glean people. But yeah, it's very interesting. The people who are doing those things, they also have a lot of moral dilemmas going on in their head. Some of them are really like evil people, and they just enjoy killing other people in creative ways or different ways, and that's ridiculous. But so that's the story basically. There are two people who like to two kind of types of people in that Scythedom. The Scythes, good Scythes, which are like they are doing it with a lot of thought behind it, and they don't want to make their victims, to say, I don't even know how, if we can say victims, suffer, or they don't want them to suffer or feel the pain or something. They want it to be quick, or they want to be compassionate about it. And the other type are, they just take pleasure in killing people, and it's like the kind of struggle between the two groups of people who have different philosophies about death. For YA novel, it's really good. And the third one I'm going to talk about is a novel called The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin, and this one has a very interesting concept. So sorry, I forgot to give the rating for the earlier one. I think I gave it a 3.5 or 3.75 out of 5 stars, and for the Scythe. And for Immortalist, I think I'm going to give it like 3.5 stars again out of 5 stars. It's a very interesting concept that there are 4 siblings who are between the ages of, I think, 7, 8 to 12, 13 something, and they apparently find out from somewhere that in some New York borough or somewhere there is this woman who is like kind of a witchy and astrologer oracle kind of a woman who can tell you the exact date of your death. And they get really curious, as kids do, and they go to her and find out from her when they are going to die. And the story is like how each sibling reacts to the kind of their specified time on the earth, and how their lives get shaped by it. It's very interesting, but I felt like it is a little drawn out. The idea could have been executed a little bit better. The writing is good, but I felt like it gets a little slow down in the middle of it. It does talk about a lot of current topics also, like mental health and pandemics and crises, like health crises and stuff. But it does have to be there are content warnings as well. I think something like maybe suicidal ideation and suicide kind of warnings, content warnings. If you are wary of those kind of things and you don't want to read about those things, please don't read this book. But I really liked the book in terms of this concept. Like it just intrigued me, so I recommend them thoroughly. So there are these like 3 different takes on death and the realities around it, and some are like the YA one is like fun and thrilling, and also at the same time little bit philosophical, and like asks difficult questions about morality around death and who has the right to kill people. And also something I want to learn a little bit more about is sometimes is it not the worst thing to die, like euthanasia maybe. It's a very taboo subject, and I don't know, I'm a little scared of talking about these subjects, but I do want to talk about them. So if you know something about them, please let me know. If you have read one of these books, please let me know again. If you are interested in reading one of these books, please let me know again. If you really want to make this recipe, please let me know. If you don't want to cook this recipe but you want to eat this, you have to do two things. First is subscribe and like my videos, become my friend, or maybe date me. And like you will get this breakfast like maybe every other Sunday. Who knows? So look forward to that, and thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.